In today's episode from Forever Bedrock Season 2, I mined 1,000 blocks at Y level minus 58 for diamonds, so you don't have to. We'll also go through some mining tips along the way throughout the video. Let's get into this. We are at minus 58 in the new world, and we are going to go ahead and go over our gear to even start with. What we want to have on us is definitely a Fortune 3 pickaxe, hopefully with mending and unbreaking 3 on it. We're also going to want to have like a couple stacks of torches. There's very little coal down here, so if you run out of torches, it can be kind of a drag. I'm going to have a bucket of water for lava. Comes in handy also if you happen to run into a cave and have a bunch of mobs around you, and we definitely want like a stack of food. We are also going to bring along a crafting bench with us so that we can reduce some of the load on our inventory by turning redstone into redstone blocks, etc. And we will also have some double chests with us so that once our inventory gets packed, especially if there's some items that we may want to build with later on that we don't want to just throw out, deep slate, etc., gravel, we'll set some double chests up along the way that we can store some of that some of those resources in so that we don't just lose them. So we are going to begin here. Normally I would dig personal mining tunnels. I dig 3 high. What we're going to do for the video today though is we are going to dig these 2 high, this tunnel 2 high, all the way down the 1,000 block run. We're only going to dig sides out if we find other ores or diamonds that would allow us to open up other spots. So we just want to go a straight 1,000 blocks, and at the end of the video we are going to see if it's worth it. And now let's speed the video up and get to it. We will hit some other mining tips along the way and check out whether or not this was worth it at the end. At certain points in the video I am sure that we will run into some lava lakes where we may have to dig down to 59 to get under them. But the ultimate goal will be to stay at Y level minus 58, as that seems to be a good level for diamonds. And right here we have our first batch, which is going to lead us to another mining tip here. And this one is about, especially if you're new at mining, one way that you can lose diamonds real easy is when there's lava underneath them when you mine them out. You can also avoid this by sneaking or crouching while you break the block and being right up against it, because generally then the blocks, the diamonds, will go directly into your inventory. Another important tip for mining is to light up your tunnels as you go. The last thing that you want to do is go mining and get a bunch of diamonds and other valuable resources only to get nailed by a witch at a poisoning potion and then shot by a skeleton or mauled by a zombie. So light up your tunnels. I tend to put my torches every 10 blocks, which is a little bit overkill, but it also kind of helps me with the length of the tunnel that I've dug so far. Putting them every 10 blocks keeps the math simple for my little brain. And speaking of math and the length of the tunnel, we started this tunnel at the Z minus 492. So for our 1,000 blocks, we are going to end up at positive 508. Now, as we go along here and our inventory has been filling up, let's go ahead and get into another tip here. This goes back to the double chests that I had in our inventory, and this is a perfect spot to do it. We're going to go ahead and mine up this iron. But what we're going to do is go ahead and place down a double chest here and empty out our inventory so that we've got space for the important stuff that we're actually down here for, which is diamonds and other ores. Mostly is going to be redstone and lapis down here. But one of the other main reasons is if you happen to play on a server or a realm with friends and stuff, all the entities that lie down there on the ground can actually cause quite a bit of lag. So it is always a good idea, especially if you're playing with others, to go ahead and try your best to actually, when you're mining, pick up all of the blocks so that you're not creating a ton of lag for everyone else on the realm and becoming the enemy of everyone. Not becoming the enemy of everyone on a server or realm is also one of the reasons it goes back to lighten up the tunnels. The last thing you want to do is be responsible for somebody heading down into the tunnels and ending up dead because you didn't light up the tunnel. So here we are around the halfway mark, and we have just come across another vein of diamonds. We're going to go ahead and dig these out, and maybe let's take a quick look and see where we stand at about the halfway point here. Let's go ahead and double check. There's no lava underneath. Only a vein of 2 there. Let's just do a little bit of poking around here just to make sure that there's no more hidden around close, which is going to bring us to another mining tip, which is to every now and then I tend to try to mine on chunk borders. Diamond spawn is 1 attempt per chunk. So by mining on the chunk border, every now and then you will run into a situation where both chunks that you're digging through have spawned a vein of diamonds or generated a vein of diamonds, which can lead to some pretty sizable diamond deposits. And as you saw there, halfway through, we are at 29 diamonds right now. Let's keep going. And here we've hit our first bit of lava to deal with, which is brings us to another tip, which is to always have some blocks right by your pickaxe in your hotbar. That way, if any lava comes jetting at you, you can definitely throw a block in place and get yourself safe from that lava. Now, what we have here obviously looks to be a lava lake above us. So we are going to take a few minutes here and carefully mine up so that we can try to determine the height of the lava lake. You know, if it's too deep, you're best off just digging around it and not taking the time. But we're going to go ahead here, maybe 1 or 2 more blocks high. All right, it looks like that is the top of the lava lake right there. Now you have a couple of options. You could just bridge across it and then drop down to Y level 58, minus 58. Or you can hit it. The other reason, or another tip related to our bucket of water, is that right there. You can go ahead and get the water flowing over the lava and turn it into obsidian. And that gives you safe passage. And we're going to get ourselves back down to minus 58 now that we've avoided some lava death traps there. And here again, we are going to place down another chest there to empty out some of our inventory. And looks like we have run into yet another lava lake where some block placement and water bucket use have come in handy to keep us on track and on our way. Now, as I was saying earlier, guys, you can definitely mine around these if they become a little bit too much. Like this one is pretty dicey here. It looks like there's a lot of lava that's directly above us and to the sides. So if these get a little bit dicey for you, there is definitely no harm in digging like 10 blocks over to one side or the other and then just continuing on your path. Because sometimes one of the best tips when mining is to avoid the lava altogether the best you can. So let's keep on going here. Looks like we have got through the worst of that lava lake. We're going to go ahead and empty out some more stuff there and keep on going. Looks like we are at 320 in the positive. So we are getting ever closer to our 508 goal of 1,000 blocks. And here's probably a good place to let's drop down a crafting bench. We have gotten quite a bit of redstone over the last little bit of digging, so let's go ahead and use our crafting bench to go ahead and craft those down into blocks, and that frees up a bunch of inventory space for us. And as I was talking there, we have come up on the end of our run. We are at 501 here. This is going to bring us to, right at the end of our run, another mining tip. What we have run into here, guys, if you see all the tuff that is here and all the iron that is inside of it. Tuff veins had a habit of having inside of them either, I believe, veins of iron and possibly gold. So if you run into a bunch of tuff and you see the iron, it is best to dig it all out because you will actually end up with quite a big amount of that ore, whatever it is. Say we are at the end, we are at 507 right there. 507, 508 is our 1,000 blocks. Just a second here, we are going to go ahead once we get all this iron cleared out and let's see what all we came up with. Let's take a look here. We have 29 diamonds. Looks like we have a stack of 64 redstone, and 4, and then looks like a stack and 35 of iron. Now let's go get those other diamonds and see what our totals look like. And of course it looks like 35 gold as well too. Let's get those diamonds. And here is that batch of diamonds that we bypassed on the floor earlier. Let's go ahead and mine these up and add these into our totals, and then you guys, it's up to you in the comments to let me know, what do you think? Was it worth it? 1,000 blocks, straight line, minus 58 Y level, in search of diamonds. Looks like we ended up with a total of 38 diamonds in total, plus the redstone, gold, and iron. Now, to me, guys, 38 diamonds for this amount of time and work is definitely not worth it. But if you remember earlier on in the episode, I told you guys I normally dig our tunnels 3 tall. And there is a reason for that. Diamond finding, diamond mining is all about exposing block faces. The more block faces you expose, the more diamonds you are going to find. And what I did here is I went back through the tunnel, dug as much of it as I could to 3 high where there wasn't lava, and then I broke out all of the gravel as you see me doing here. And by getting rid of the gravel to expose more blocks and digging the tunnel to a level of 3 tall, let's check out what we actually ended up with in 1,000 blocks of diamond mining. Here are our final totals, guys. 56 diamonds total, a stack of redstone blocks plus 68 redstone, a stack plus 43 iron, and 36 gold. What do you guys think? Was it worth it? I hope that some of the mining tips were helpful to you guys. Let us know in the comments if this is something that you think is worth it. And it would be awesome actually to hear from you guys if you take on the 1,000 block mining challenge, what your results were. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hope the tips were helpful. We will see you next time. Take it easy, everybody.